Moving around a room is far more than just a sequence of steps. Today's discussion focuses on a simple action whose significance is often underestimated. It might seem too basic to be truly effective, yet walking within a room can be a key factor in improving overall well-being. This type of movement requires no significant physical strength, high speed, or long walks. Observations by medical professionals and proponents of Eastern practices show that such movement can activate the body's recovery processes, even without leaving home. Walking around a room isn't about fitness in the usual sense. It's about health accessible to everyone. We will show why this isn't just moving from one corner to another, but an effective way to gently stimulate blood flow, optimize breathing, and relieve internal tension. According to specialists, most older adults believe that a short walk is enough to warm up. However, the body functions differently after age 60. It requires specific, gentle signals, and walking around a room is one of the most effective. We will explain, in an accessible way and without overly complex terms, how to walk to achieve the desired effect, why it's more beneficial than it seems, and what positive changes you can feel within days. Many ask, I walk daily around my apartment to the store upstairs. Why do I still feel sluggish with my energy dwindling? Here lies a fundamental misconception. After 60, the body operates differently. It requires not just movement, but movement performed with an understanding of its unique characteristics. With age, muscle mass decreases, vascular sensitivity to regulatory signals declines, and breathing becomes shallower. This means previous activity levels no longer yield the same restorative effect. People move, but they don't recover. They walk, but they don't revitalize their bodies as they once did. The greatest danger at this age is believing that mild fatigue, drowsiness, or a heavy head are normal. In reality, these are alarming signals. The body sends them quietly but persistently. The longer these signals are ignored, the deeper the problem takes root. For many, an ordinary walk brings sluggishness, heavy legs, and an overwhelming desire to lie down, instead of a burst of energy. Why? Because most movements become automatic, failing to engage key body systems: respiratory, lymphatic, and nervous. One walks, but doesn't activate circulation. One moves, but doesn't involve the brain and heart in the process. As a result, even ordinary walking turns into meaningless activity. Medical practice shows that over 80% of older adults complaining of low energy are not truly engaging in full-fledged movement, but merely moving through space. The difference between these concepts is enormous, like the difference between music and noise. Sounds are present, but they lack meaning. Walking becomes truly effective only when it includes conscious breathing, movement coordination, and mindfulness. Without these components, it not only fails to support health, but can even increase fatigue, especially with impaired blood flow, varicose veins, or high blood pressure. Furthermore, in older age, changes occur in oxygen distribution within the body. Tissues absorb it less effectively, especially if breathing remains shallow and intermittent. How does one typically breathe when simply moving from room to room, quickly, superficially, without noticing? Such breathing leads to oxygen deprivation, which in turn manifests as headaches, blood pressure fluctuations, and loss of mental clarity. The body idles. Despite all efforts, active movement, and avoiding idleness, one's well-being only worsens. For walking to truly be beneficial, one must abandon mechanical execution. Specialists often recommend a simple rule. It's better to take fewer steps with full attention to your body than to make many automatic movements. When one engages mindfulness, monitors breathing, and maintains proper posture, even a few minutes of such walking transform into a powerful, health-promoting process. It's also crucial to know the right pace, as fast movements after 60 often do more harm than good. A rapid pace can overstress the heart, cause shortness of breath, or even dizziness. However, there's good news. Even short walks around a room, if done correctly, can become a true source of energy and inner peace. This is what the next step will be about: as we'll present a simple formula used in Tibetan monasteries. 7 steps, a few breaths, a pause, and the entire body switches to recovery mode. This isn't magic, but a time-tested practice. All that remains is to learn how to perform it correctly. In their practice, specialists have encountered the same common mistake dozens of times, made by almost everyone over 60. They sincerely strive to be active, walk around the apartment, do exercises, and try to stay toned, yet they continue to feel sluggishness, body heaviness, and weakness, especially in the mornings. Here's the reason. They move, but they don't revitalize blood flow. How is this possible, you might ask? Movement itself is supposed to activate circulation. In reality, this isn't the case, especially in older age. With years, blood vessels lose elasticity, capillaries narrow, and venous return slows. The heart works under increased load, especially with hypertension, excess weight, or a sedentary past. Simple movement, or even a 15-minute outdoor walk, doesn't sufficiently stimulate circulation. This is true if crucial body mechanisms aren't engaged. Diaphragmatic breathing, gentle calf and thigh muscle engagement, and alternating phases of movement and rest. This is precisely the essence. Walking should become an internal massage for the blood vessels, not just mechanical straight-line stepping. When one simply walks without monitoring breathing or feeling their body, blood doesn't circulate fully. It flows past, so to speak, without nourishing organs and tissues. The clearest example is cold hands and feet even after walking, indicating that peripheral circulation wasn't activated. The capillary network, this finest web of vessels, is responsible for cell nutrition. If blood doesn't reach them in sufficient volume, the body conserves resources, slows metabolism, reduces energy production, and suppresses immune processes. This manifests as chronic fatigue, irritability, sleep disturbances, decreased appetite, and poor concentration. Blood is not just a transport system. It is life itself moving within us. If it's not helped to circulate, the body begins to accumulate stagnation, especially in areas lacking active muscles, the pelvis, abdomen, and lower back. This causes frequent constipation, abdominal heaviness, and chronic back pain. It's no exaggeration that simple recommendations for activating circulation often relieve pains that had plagued people for years, as the true cause was insufficient tissue nourishment due to blood stagnation, not bone or joint issues. And here we come to the most important point: how to not just walk, but to truly revitalize blood. The answer lies in the characteristics of the movements. They should be rhythmic, gentle, without sudden jerks. Do not rush. Every movement is a signal for the blood vessels, especially the veins, which function on the principle of a muscle pump. It is the leg muscles that help venous blood ascend to the heart. Therefore, it is crucial for the foot to be actively engaged during walking. Rolling from heel to toe, a smooth stride, slight calf muscle engagement. All these naturally stimulate blood flow. If one shuffles or moves automatically, such walking offers no benefit. But if breathing is integrated, feeling the chest expand and legs engage, then true, full-fledged body work begins. Breathing plays a special role in this process. When one breathes shallowly, using only the chest, blood is only partially oxygenated. However, deep diaphragmatic breathing acts as a gentle pump, actively helping venous blood return to the heart. This is especially important for conditions like varicose veins, heart failure, or a tendency for swelling. Thus, to revitalize blood, one must not only move but also breathe correctly, consciously, feeling the body, and without distraction. This is the essence of the Tibetan approach. Movements are simple, but performed with attention to the smallest details, as attention and mindfulness restore the lost connection between the brain and body. Medical observations confirm that people who perform all actions automatically experience fewer positive changes in well-being. Those who begin to move consciously, even slowly, often report increased vitality, reduced anxiety, and improved sleep. This is not a miracle, it's pure physiology. blood revitalizes, and the body awakens. But here it's important not just to understand, but to apply this knowledge in practice. That's why we'll next discuss a simple practice combining breathing, movement, and pause. This formula was used in Tibetan monasteries for recovery after illness. Now, it can become a reliable support in everyone's daily life. It's not just an exercise, it's a true ritual. Performed correctly, it can transform your mornings, mood, and most importantly, your health. When specialists first heard about the 7-step practice from colleagues in Eastern medicine, they admittedly viewed it as symbolic. However, the deeper they delved into the Tibetan approach, the clearer it became. Behind its apparent simplicity lay a physiologically precise, meticulously calibrated system. This is not just a set of beautiful rituals, but a profound and wise understanding of how the human body functions after age 60. This becomes especially significant for those facing circulatory disorders, reduced vitality, blood pressure fluctuations, increased anxiety, and insomnia. The 7-step formula is a short yet profound restorative cycle. It requires no special preparation, significant physical strength, or a large time commitment, but it does demand mindfulness and respectful attention to one's own body. The essence of this ritual is as follows. One takes 7 steps in one direction across the room, then stops, pauses, inhales slowly and deeply, then turns, takes 7 more steps, and stops again. All movements are performed deliberately, without rushing, with full concentration on sensations in the feet, back, and breathing process. This structure is surprisingly simple, yet it contains powerful logic. 7 steps is not random, but an optimal number, defining the length of the movement phase that allows for the activation of large muscle groups without overloading the body. The pause is a switching moment during which the body registers the achieved result, and the brain stops functioning in automatic mode. The turn helps engage coordination and maintain balance. Thus, in a short time, several crucial body systems are activated: vascular, respiratory, vestibular, and neuromuscular. Why is this so important? Because the alternation of exertion and pause provides the necessary impetus for blood circulation. During monotonous, continuous walking, the body enters an economical mode, and all actions are performed mechanically. However, with a change of phases, attention returns to the body, mindfulness emerges, the diaphragm activates, and muscles begin to work synchronously. This is a completely different quality of movement, a process of recovery, not fatigue. Many who have tried this practice note a feeling of warmth in their hands and feet, improved mood, reduced pulse, and deeper breathing. All this is achieved without significant effort. Just 7 steps, a pause, breath turn, seemingly nothing special, yet the body actively engages, especially for those who haven't felt ease and movement for a long time. Breathing deserves special mention. During the stop, it's crucial to take one slow inhale through the nose, aiming to direct air into the abdomen, followed by an equally slow exhale through the mouth. Do not perform this abruptly or forcefully. It's better to do it gently, calmly, as if exhaling accumulated tension. Thanks to the pause, breathing becomes conscious, which automatically leads to a reduction in cortisol, the stress hormone. In older adults, excess cortisol often triggers anxiety, insomnia, and rapid heartbeat. Therefore, even such a simple breathing pause within the ritual has a powerful regulating effect. This is also confirmed by modern scientific data. The combination of movement, stopping, and breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for rest, recovery, and achieving a state of calm. It is extremely important not to rush. In the Tibetan tradition, there was a belief: if you walk, walk. If you breathe, breathe. No phone, no radio, no thoughts of tasks, only step, breath, and body sensation. This is conscious recovery, especially valuable after 60. At this age, the body can no longer cope with constant external pressure and requires a different form of care, not exhausting, but supportive. This ritual can be performed morning, noon, or evening, anytime you have a few free minutes. The main thing is to do it regularly, without rushing and with attention. Then, even within 1 week, significant changes can be noticed. The body will feel more alive, sleep will be sounder, and blood pressure more stable. Many might now ask, does this really work? The answer is simple. It works when performed correctly and with respect for your age. That's why the next section will show how this ritual can be adapted to your daily routine. We will cover how many minutes to start with, what to do if dizziness occurs, and how to gently enter this practice even after prolonged inactivity, as the true effect begins with these details. Now that it's clear that ordinary walking doesn't always bring benefit, and the Tibetan 7-step formula provides the necessary structure, let's move on to the specific technique. We will explain in detail exactly how to walk around a room, so that even with chronic fatigue, when you have no energy for anything, your body receives support and recovers. This practice requires no special preparation. It's suitable even for those who spend most of their time at home, find it difficult to go outside, or have reduced physical endurance. The key is correct execution, where attention to the smallest details, not strength, is paramount. The technique is based on a calm, conscious step that engages the entire body. Begin from starting position. Feet shoulder-width apart, back straight, shoulders relaxed, arms hanging freely at your sides. Take a deep inhale through your nose, then exhale through your mouth. After that, begin to move. The first step involves shifting your weight forward, rolling from heel to toe. It's important to feel your foot touch the floor. Do not rush. The second step is the same with the other foot. 7 such steps are performed at a slow, even rhythm. Keep your back straight and gaze forward. After the 7th step, stop. Inhale through your nose. Hold your breath for 1 to 2 seconds, and then slowly exhale through your mouth. Breathe gently and deeply. It's important to feel your chest descend. Do not rush the turn. First, stand still calmly, then smoothly turn to the side and take 7 more steps. The entire technique is built on a rhythm. Movement, pause, breath, turn, movement. This is a rhythm the body quickly adapts to, and it begins to work like an internal metronome. This is especially important for those living in a state of constant fatigue. The body is usually exhausted, not due to a lack of energy, but because of its leakage from stress, tension, poor sleep, and anxious thoughts. This technique allows you to regain self-control. It gently engages muscles, improves blood circulation, oxygenates tissues, and most importantly, calms the nervous system. You are not draining your strength, but restoring what is lost in the course of daily life. The next important element is arm position. While walking, it's best to keep your arms loose, slightly bent at the elbows, not pressed against your body. They can move naturally with your steps, not deliberately. This helps maintain balance and additionally engages the shoulder girdle. If you experience difficulty, you can place one hand on your abdomen and the other on your chest. This helps better track your breathing and feel your center of gravity. When breathing is performed correctly, with diaphragm involvement, chest pressure changes, which helps venous blood return better to the heart. This is especially important for people with varicose veins, edema, or reduced physical activity. Even with minimal movement, a few rounds around the room daily will still yield results. The main thing is regularity. Attention should also be paid to the surface you walk on. It's best to walk barefoot or in soft socks. This improves foot sensitivity, activates reflex zones, and makes your step more controlled. If you have balance issues, it's recommended to move along a wall or place a chair nearby for support if needed. This technique requires no effort. It demands attention and respect for your body. After just the first minute, many feel an internal warmth, even a slight tingling in their fingers, a sign that circulation has activated. The practice duration can vary from 5 to 15 minutes. Start small. It's better to do 2 to 3 5-minute sessions a day than to try for half an hour immediately. Your body will be grateful for the gentle, dosed load. This is how Eastern medicine works, not through pressure, but through fine-tuning. This is especially relevant for older adults, for whom every sudden movement can cause overexertion, dizziness, or a blood pressure spike. Here, on the contrary, the condition stabilizes. One more nuance. It's important to conclude the practice correctly. After the last step, do not sit down immediately. You need to stand, breathe, and feel your body. Only then can you smoothly transition to rest. This helps solidify the achieved effect. Many patients who regularly use this technique have noticed they wake up with greater ease. The feeling of cotton legs disappears, and sleep comes faster in the evening. This is not a quick result, but it is a stable one. In the next part, we will show how even one such daily ritual can not only provide a burst of energy, but also impact brain function, mental clarity, stress resilience, and even prevent age-related changes. We will discuss body zones that are especially important to activate and how simple movement can improve memory and attention. When an older person regularly practices the ritual of slow walking with conscious breathing, as discussed earlier, not only physical well-being but also the state of mind changes. This is not just a subjective feeling. It's a fact confirmed by both medical observations and patients' personal experiences. After 1 to 2 weeks of practice, most experience improved concentration, the disappearance of morning brain fog, and reduced irritability and anxiety. The reason is that such a ritual gives the body precisely what it often lacks in older age: predictability, rhythm, oxygen, and attention. With age, the brain's metabolic rate slows and blood supply worsens, especially in the frontal lobes responsible for decision-making, attention, and emotional control. When one lives in a state of hustle, informational noise, anxieties, and lack of regular movement, these brain areas function less effectively. This is why forgetfulness, confused thoughts, and a decline in initiative appear. But when even a short, clear, and conscious ritual enters the daily routine, the brain perceives it as an anchor of stability, especially when movement, breathing, pause, and a sense of body control are combined in this ritual. During such walking, not only muscles and blood vessels are activated, but also the brain's limbic system, which is closely linked to memory and emotional regulation. The repeating rhythm of steps, synchronized with breathing, stabilizes cortisol, the stress hormone, which in turn allows the cerebral cortex to cope better with demands. Furthermore, deep and conscious breathing significantly improves oxygenation, the saturation of blood with vital oxygen. This process has a direct and substantial impact on the effective functioning of neurons, the main cells of the nervous system. The human brain is one of the most active oxygen consumers, absorbing up to 20% of the total gas intake. Consequently, the less oxygen this vital organ receives, the faster fatigue sets in, an irresistible drowsiness appears, and confused thinking arises, hindering clarity of perception. Specialists observe how people who had suffered for years from a feeling of internal fog, a sense that their thought process was difficult and their head wasn't working, gradually regained mental clarity. Some started with just 5 minutes of practice a day. Within a week, they noted it became significantly easier to concentrate, a sustained desire to read, actively solve daily tasks, and more readily engage with others. At first glance, these might seem like minor changes, but it is precisely from such seemingly small things that one's overall quality of life, and thus its longevity, is formed. In ancient Tibetan tradition, it was long believed that true bodily health originates from an ordered and calm state of mind. Paradoxically, the practice of conscious walking is one of the most reliable and accessible paths to achieving this harmonious state. Many ask, is it really that simple? Indeed, it is simple, but only if one crucial condition is met. Performing this practice regularly, with deep self-respect, perceiving it not as a burdensome obligation, but as valuable support for your body. It's not so much about strict discipline as it is about showing genuine kindness and care towards your own body. This is where the entire depth and wisdom of the Eastern approach to health lies. The essence is that one does not force their body, but learns to listen carefully to its needs and signals. This is precisely why this ritual proves so effective. It does not require self-coercion. On the contrary, it restores a sense of control over one's body and bestows inner confidence. Even starting with a minimum of 3 minutes in the morning and 3 in the evening can bring a noticeable positive effect. If performed daily, calmly, with full attention, striking changes in well-being can be observed within a month. A feeling of lightness, inner stability will emerge, and most importantly, one will begin to feel like a reliable support for themselves. Thus, an important and relevant topic has been concluded today. We have shown how a simple, yet surprisingly precise and well-calibrated practice can effectively support both the physical body and the mental state. This is not merely theoretical discussion. It is knowledge proven by centuries of experience and confirmed by modern practice. Specialists sincerely recommend that everyone try this method and experience its beneficial effects for themselves.